we will quickly move to the next session. So we now have our Deputy Director, Professor G. Kumaresan sir, who is going to speak about Ph.D. regulations, a very important topic for all of us because though we have given you Ph.D. regulations and it is also available on the website, many of you make repetitive mistakes and then you will be coming and standing there asking doubts. So, we will be clarifying your doubts, which is not possible for all of you. So, this will be a very quick session on running through PhD regulations. And for doing that, we have Professor G. Kumaresan, sir, Deputy Director, Center for Research, Anna University. Thank you, sir.
Good morning to all. Since already 15 minutes crossed, so I skip very basic informations on what we are doing actually here. Okay, see, all of you know the structure of this center. This center governed by research board. All major decisions are taken only in the research board only. Then the director, Professor Umarani Madam. Under the director, there are 3 deputy directors, each one taking care of the different activities of Center for Research. And myself taking care of synapses activities and also the supervisor recognition, and Professor Shobha Madam taking care of thesis activities, like they check whether the thesis fulfilled the norms set by the university or not, and Professor Soundarnayagi Madam, she is taking care of the institute recognition, right? Because not all the affiliated colleges having the research center recognition. So if any center wants to do research, any center or any institute or any department wants to take a PhD candidate, that the institute should fulfill certain norms. Those norms are taken care by Professor Soundarnayagi Madam. So this is the structure of our office. Okay, see, and this actually which gives how many scholars graduated every year. You know, we are in 4th place in the world, from the first place US, then Germany and Great Britain, and we are 4th place awarding a PhD, more number of PhD degree. You know, every year there are 24,000 around, plus or minus 24,000 scholars get a PhD degree from this country, right? And also, you know the fact that the world, less than 2% of world population has a doctorate degree. So you are all going to be a part very soon at the end of after awarding PhD degree. So that's a very proud moment, because very few only having doctorate degree, because in the society PhD degree considered as the highest educational qualification, right? So not having everyone having the opportunity to pursue PhD, because there are lot of factors, family factors, right? Personal factors. So you got such a wonderful opportunity, right? So I wish you all the best for your quality research, and in future you are going to act as a brand ambassador for this university, because you know the very first talk, one of the professors said about the QS ranking, where we are standing actually, the QS ranking, 60% of the mark for this university, which comes from perception about this university, right? When you get PhD degree and when you settle various part of the world, right? Definitely you will convey the information about there is Anna University in India, right? That university produced good quality researchers. In this way only, university ranking will go up, right? There are a lot of factors generally considered for QS ranking, but remember 60% marks which comes from the perception of the university, how others think about this university, right? So the others think about this university definitely will come to know when you go and settle various part of the world, right? Okay, coming to this is our last 2021 statistics says 2000. Every year, remember every year on an average this past few years, Anna University producing around 1,100 to 1,200 PhD scholars. You know, the last year, 2022, IIT Bombay, they produced more than 400 PhD scholars in a year, right? That's the first, top one institute in terms of number of PhD graduated in IIT, right? But when we talk about these four campuses, like presently, you know, there are around 2,067 scholars, including your seniors, right? Presently, there are 2,067 scholars doing research here. And every year, actually, here we get admission for the four campuses, 200, on an average 200 strength. That is the number of PhD scholars joined in these four campuses. Four campuses means CEG, AAC Tech, and MIT campus and SAP campus, right? There are 400 supervisors in the four campuses. There are 5,000 supervisors affiliated to Anna University, including University College of Engineering, Kanjipuram. See, whichever college which comes under the umbrella of Anna University, there are 5,000 supervisors. Totally, at present, there are 11,000 research scholars, including part-time, right? That is the statistics of Center for Research. 11,000 plus scholars doing research in Tamil Nadu, that too only in Anna University, right? Every year, around 1,100 to 1,200 scholars, they complete the PhD program, right? And you know, these are all key persons behind the successful running of this center, right? You should know these persons, like they are all actually the faculty of faculty of respective engineering, right? The chairperson, there are you know, various faculty here from architecture and planning, civil, electrical, ICE, mechanical, science, humanities, technology, management science, and recently, after last week back only, new faculty has created called as electronics engineering. Earlier, electronics engineering was shown under information and communication engineering, right? And the last year only, where the Professor Dr. M. Kannan from MIT campus taken as charge as a faculty chairperson. Okay, their role here actually, for all the selection of doctoral committee members, you know, you have two doctoral committee members, one from within these four campuses and other external member. One is internal member, other external. The selection of the doctoral committee member, and they do this kind of, these professors, they only assign the doctoral committee members. We are not doing any role on it. Just we get a proposal of doctoral committee members from your supervisor, then we'll pass on to this information to chairperson, and they only select suitable doctoral committee members, right? So for and all your any kind of query, like in which name you want degree. Suppose you would have completed ME in civil engineering, but you are doing research in mechanical engineering, right? The question is whether degree will be awarded under mechanical or civil. Who will decide, right? Faculty chairperson. They only decide based on your query. Based on your query and based on the evidence given by you, right? We'll submit the documents. So usually in whichever department where you completed PG program, right? In that area only where the PhD degree will be awarded. If there is any cross-discipline, completed PG in civil, but doing research in mechanical, right? By default, you will get degree from civil engineering. But if you want to get degree from mechanical engineering, right, you should produce a valid documents. I mean, all your four coursework from mechanical department, and your the research topic, whatever you are doing, right, in that area, that research topic related to only the mechanical engineering. If it is so, by producing those documents, right, you can represent you can represent to Center for Research stating that I need degree from mechanical engineering. Then we will pass this information to two faculty, civil engineering as well as mechanical engineering. Then based on their collective decision, usually degree will be awarded mechanical engineering. If it is true, like all your claims, if it is true, right, your degree will be awarded in mechanical. Because this kind of confusion usually which comes from some few courses. There are some few courses which is common for electronics engineering and computer science engineering. Few courses are common for civil engineering and mechanical engineering. So usually the student will get confusion in which degree you want, in which discipline you want a degree, right? Those kind of decisions are taken by faculty chairperson, right? So usually we say they are pillars for this center. Okay, see, and here, we follow UGC regulations. UGC regulation 2020. Recently, they have released regulations 2023. We are working on that. So, in fact, a couple of weeks we are going to announce or release 2023 regulation very soon. Already the draft copy which is ready, right? We are going to get permission from faculty chairperson. Once they approved, then we'll get approval from our higher authority. Then finally 2023 regulation will come very soon. Not major change in 2023, right? Only the few changes, but you need not worry about all, whatever, is there any change in regulation, we usually issue circular. That circular always available in our website. I will show you where all the circulars are available at the end of the session. So currently we are following 2020. So what it says, regulation, the regulation which covers the details about what is the program, the structure of the program, right? What is the minimum requirement to join in PhD program or MS program, right? How many years needed to complete PhD program, minimum duration to complete PhD, maximum duration to complete PhD, right? And what will happen if any scholar knowingly, unknowingly commit a mistake in plagiarism, right? What remedy to be taken, and all these informations given by the UGC. We strictly follow UGC norms, right? There is no violation, there is no deviation. We adopt whatever the UGC says. We simply follow because that is the highest body in our country. Okay, so how many regulations are followed at, say if I answer to, see, we follow PhD, there is a separate regulation. For MS also there is a separate regulation, right? Okay, so there are around 20 plus classes are available in our regulation, right? Each and every class which speaks about the different informations, right? I quickly go through those. That is the idea of, or that is the idea of the present this lecture, right? I want to cover all the classes. There are some classes may not be relevant for you at this stage, right? I'll simply skip those classes, right? What are all the classes which is classes are needed by the present scholars, that all alone which I can discuss. Okay, I hope you know what is the general eligibility, because after satisfying the norms only, you are admitted into this program, right? What is the minimum marks? 55% of marks, right? That is needed, 55% of marks in PG, qualifying degree. That is called qualifying degree. 50% marks enough for SC/ST candidates. That is the general eligibility. Okay, educational qualifications like, here we are offering a PhD degree in science and humanities. We are offering degree PhD program in engineering and technology background, and also we offer PhD program in architecture and planning. So there are different disciplines. So to join PhD program in different discipline, you should have certain minimum qualifications. PG degree is must, right? So those informations which is given. Mode of admission, right? There are two kind of admissions, like full-time, which covers the details under class 3.1, 3.1 to 3.1.1 to 3.1.7, which talks about full-time scholar. Full-time scholar, who are all called as a full-time scholar, right? And all information which comes under 3.1, 3.2 part-time scholar. Part-time scholar, there are two category of part-time, internal scholars and the part-time external scholars. Like see, I joined here 2003. At that time I joined 2004, I have registered my PhD program in this campus, right? So overall regular faculty, teaching or non-teaching, right? They joined PhD program in this campus, they are treated as internal scholars, part-time internal call. So because we cannot consider as a full-time scholar, because my full-time job actually teaching, right? Part-time only where I can do PhD, right? So the staff members in this university, whether teaching or non-teaching, right? If they want to pursue PhD here, they are normally called it as internal scholar. External scholar means like a faculty member working in affiliated engineering college. They want to do PhD here, right? They are called it as a part-time external scholars. Not only faculty member from affiliated college, a person who is working in CLRI or NIOT, national laboratories, they want to do PhD here, again they are called it as a part-time external scholars, right? Okay, 3.2.3 which speaks about research scholar working place. Where is your working place? Obviously, your working place is nothing but where your supervisor is working. That is your working place, right? Suppose a part-time PhD scholar who is working in one of the engineering college, say for example, working in Ishwar Engineering College, but supervisor working in CEG, right? For part-time, that scholar, see, the working place is nothing but CEG. You got it? Unless otherwise, all full-time scholar, your working place is your supervisor working place. But in the case of part-time, right, working place, where also supervisor working place considered as the working place, not Ishwar Engineering College, right? That is the working place definition given here. The change of class 3.3, which tells about the change of category. Like you have joined here PhD under full-time mode, right? Suppose in future you want to convert into part-time mode, right? What is the procedure? It's a very simple procedure. You need to complete provisional, you need to complete the confirmation meeting. You know the confirmation meeting, once your coursework, you have completed coursework, right? And after completing the compre examination and the confirmation meeting, right, you are eligible to convert from full-time to part-time or vice versa, right? This change of category permitted only once during your PhD program, right? Because some unavoidable reasons, suppose you got some job, right, in one of the company, right? But you have completed the confirmation meeting, all the things, right? Immediately the center, by showing your appointment order, right? Remember, any letter, if you want to submit to Center for Research, this letter you should get a signature from your supervisor and supervisor head. Without these two signature, we won't consider any letter from the scholar. Suppose the problem with your supervisor, right? If you want to submit a letter to this center, I will tell you later, right, what to be done in that case. That is a special case, right? But for any information you want to ask Center for Research, there is a provision available, online queries in your login credential. Use the online query. Within a day, you will get reply from our center, right? Apart from that, if you want to submit any letter to Center for Research, that letter duly forwarded by supervisor and the head of the department of your supervisor, right? Okay, so the change of category, it is possible only once, but under extraordinary circumstances, right? Change of category, it is permitted more than once, right? Under extraordinary circumstances, so based on the approval from Vice Chancellor, right, more than one time also it is possible, right? And the research, okay, this class 4, this is not related to you, right? This is related to the institute who wants to decide to take a PhD scholar, what to be done, those information covered under class 4. So I will simply skip this information. This is no way counted to you. Okay, see, and coming to class 5, mode of selection, okay, these also, you know, you are successfully joined in this university because you have completed written test and interview, right? The written test actually you should score some minimum marks, right? What is that minimum mark? That minimum mark, there is no standard minimum mark. That is based on the average of all the scholars whoever appeared for the PhD written test. Considering the average mark, normally the board will decide what is the minimum mark. So whoever scored mark more than the minimum mark, right? So you are all lucky because not all the scholars, whoever attended the written test, not all the scholars considered for interview, right? There is a screening at written test level itself. After scoring the minimum, after securing the marks more than the minimum, then only you are permitted to attend the interview, right? The interview, there is a weightage 30%. Now put together interview plus written test mark, again there is a minimum mark, right? So there are two tough steps you have already crossed, right? So minimum mark written test and minimum mark written test plus interview, right? These two steps you already, that is a difficult step, I would say. These two steps you successfully crossed, right? Then, so that only you are here, right, as a PhD scholar. Okay, these are all the marks. Okay, the cutoff marks fixed by the research board. So the admission actually the twice in a year, right? So every semester we are admitting PhD scholars. So the research board will decide what is the minimum mark. Minimum mark based on the number of scholars appeared for the PhD program in discipline wise, faculty wise. Accordingly, the board will arrive the minimum cutoff marks, right? Okay, class 6, it depends on the admission. So admission, as I said, there are 2 times, see every year 2 times. Okay, it says, suppose a scholar who got selected for January session, suppose he is not in a position to join January session, right? There is a validity period, right? The next semester the scholar, right, can join the PhD program. So that 1 semester allowance which is given. Again, these are all actually formulated based on the guideline given by the UGC, right? So you need not to worry at all. I mean, because you already joined. Suppose if any of your friend in the upcoming selection got final selection to join as a PhD, but not in a position to join immediately, right? He can wait for another 6 months. No need of like a written test and interview and all the things. Just we'll announce the circular when will be the next admission. At the time, straight away he can come to Center for Research. He can claim his seat, right? So this is as I said, the allotment actually based on faculty, right? If your PG degree from computer science, right, you will get degree under the Faculty of Information and Communication Engineering. If your PG degree from electrical engineering, right, your PhD degree will be awarded under the Faculty of Electrical Engineering, right? But if you want to claim the cross major, right, you want to shift degree from one faculty to other faculty, as I said earlier, you need to provide evidence, right, for what reason you are claiming for other faculty degree, right? So accordingly, the faculty chairperson will take the appropriate decision, right? Okay, this is also not needed for you at this stage, right? Supervisor recognition. Okay, so quickly, within a minute I'll tell you. See, now you have completed your PhD degree, right? You are joined, you are joined as a lecturer or assistant professor in one of the institute affiliated to Anna University, right? You want to act as a supervisor. What to be done, right? So a very simple procedure. You should produce or you should have a minimum 2 publications. Minimum 2 research publications, full-length research, not review article. Full-length research article published in a regular issue of the journal listed in CFR web page. We have a certain kind of journal list, right? You know, the journal list actually screened based on the impact factor of the journal. So we have the list, the minimum impact factor of the list in our web page, which is 0.3. Less than 0.3, we won't, those journals where we already removed. So whatever the journals available in our CFR web page, those journals having impact factor minimum 3.3. Minimum 3.3. Okay, see, if you want to become a supervisor, you are working in one of the institute coming under the Anna University affiliation, minimum 2 research paper, right, for assistant professor and associate professor. For professor, 5 paper, right? Out of 5, 2 paper must be from our journal, 3 maybe from UGC care list. You know, the UGC also, they have kind of a list, journal list. From that list where if you have 3 papers, remember the 2 not in special issue, regular issue, full length, research article. This term is very much needed for you, all of you, because whenever you submit synopsis and thesis, you should have publication only in regular issue of the journal, not special issue. Your research article must be listed under the category of original research paper, not in the part of special section, special issue, part of collection. Because there are, if you go through the journals, so the journal articles listed under various title, right? Research article, that is one such title. And part of collection, that is another title, right? So we accept your paper only when the paper listed under research article, not part of collection, not special issue, not special collection, not letter, not topic, right? Because in our regulation clearly defined, in this area only, lot of the scholars, they got stuck here because they are not able to submit synopsis, right? This is the responsibility of every scholar to read our regulation carefully, thoroughly, right? What is the meaning of publication? We defined in the very first page itself. Publication means that paper must be peer reviewed, technically peer reviewed, right? Full length research article, no review article, right? Because many scholars, they come and fight here that, sir, unga journal, neenga list panna journal, there is a journal, Renewable and Sustainable Energy Reviews. There is a journal name, Renewable Sustainable Energy Reviews. That journal usually publish only review article, right? But you are not accepting review paper, sir, but you are list having a review journal, right? Why is it so? I have published my review article, right? Because that journal listed in CFR, right? Why you are not accepting? See, because our condition says, our conditions are minimum conditions. You should have minimum 1 research article. More than 1 research article, you can claim review article. More than 1 research article, you can claim article published under special issue category. You got it? There is a journal in our list. I could not remember the journal name. The journal name itself a special issue journal. Because the title itself a special issue journal. Something related to information communication. Right? If you submit a paper in the journal, right, and if you come and claim, we won't accept. Because our condition says at least you should have 1 article published under full length, published under regular issue, full length research article, not review article. Remember? Right? Okay, sir, I have 1 paper. See the other question. Sir, I have 1 paper, right? That paper journal not listed in CFR, right? Whether will you consider or not? We won't consider. Sir, I have 2 paper. Out of 2 paper, 1 paper listed available in Center for Research web page. Other paper whose journal not listed in CFR. Whether will you consider second paper? No, we won't consider. Whatever the journal available in Center for Research, in that journal only where you should go for publication. Because remember, our list actually it's like a very strong list, journal list, because having impact factor minimum 0.3. But still there is a talk going on how to, because the very first day Professor Velda sir said, Vice Chancellor said, focus on Q1, Q2 journal, quartile 1, quartile 2 journal having high impact factor, having more reputation in the scientific community, right? Try to focus. So there is a talk going on, why not to retain only Q1, Q2, because our list having Q1, Q2 as well as Q3 also, right? Why not to contain journal only Q1, Q2, not Q3? Because when we publish journal Q1 and Q2, right, your name reflected in scientific community at high level. Also, this is a win-win scheme, right? You can raise your scholar if you publish a Q1 journal, and university name also will rise when university has a more number of Q1 publications. This is what inauguration time where Velda sir said, if you publish 10 Q1 journal, if you publish 10 plus 1, 11th paper, if you publish in Q4 journal, that will pull down your your goal or your research appearance in the society, that will come down when you publish a poor quality journal, right? Because people immediately, right? So when you publish one low quality journal, right, that will totally spoil the quality of your high quality journal publications, right? Always see, don't that's why don't look quantity, always you focus quality, right? So I have only 42 papers my publication, but the average impact factor of my publication, which comes around 5.45, right? So because I never insist my scholar to publish low quality journal, right? Because see, your citation also will improve a lot over a period of time, right? You will get, see, what is the benefit? See, I want degree, right? I can go for low quality journal publication, right? But when you think long term, so long term benefit actually, you will get, if you have a good publication, right, you will get a lot of invitation in future. See, you may get several emails, sir, we are conducting conference, international conference. So we have gone through your profile, right? So can you act as a keynote speaker, right? We will provide travel charge, everything, right? You need not spend any amount, right? Can you provide a talk? Like that, you will get a lot of mails from scientific community, right? So always focus on quality publication, right? Don't look about the numbers of publication. Numbers of publication, right? Even if it is 2 publication, 1 publication, the 2 in standard journal, right? Always you will get good reward, right? Okay, see, so okay, this is a 2 for assistant professor, associate professor, 5 for professors. As per UGC 2023, 3 for associate, 3 for assistant and associate. Okay, they have increased, but UGC also said publication not mandatory for PhD, but there is a checkpoint. There is a checkpoint, even say after completion of PhD, right? If you are going to join in institute where you want to become supervisor, you must have publication. நீங்கள் அங்கே வந்து கேட்கக்கூடாது, சார் யூஜிசி தான் சொல்லிச்சு no publication is required, but you are asking 3 where I can go, right? Because that is easy. If you don't have any publication, you cannot become as supervisor. That is the norms set by the UGC, right? So don't think that whether our university will consider without a journal publication whether PhD is possible. As of now, right, we are following UGC 2020 norms. As per the norms, right, publication is mandatory. Publication is mandatory, right? One publication which is enough. But you need 2 publication. When that I will tell you during the course duration of your PhD program. Okay, these are all simply skip. Change of supervisor. Okay, fine. See, suppose due to some reason you want to change the supervisor, right? What is the procedure, right? Procedure like okay, under the change of supervisor, there are various classes. Suppose your supervisor not in a station, right? The supervisor gone to abroad for his part of the research work, right? From more than 6 months to up to 1 year, right? You can your supervisor can assign one supervisor in charge for that period. From 6 months to 1 year period, there is a supervisor. There is a provision. There is a provision as per the regulation. supervisor can nominate one faculty, nominate one professor, right? That professor may act as supervisor in charge until he comes back to his office, right? That is class 8.1. 8.2 says more than 1 year. Yes, if it is more than 1 year, immediately, right, you need to think of alternate supervisor. Remember, see, sometimes what happens, some supervisor, they hide the information about, they change the workplace, because recently we have conducted one inquiry, right? The supervisor, long back, 1 year back, shifted to some foreign country, but that information not reported to our office. But scholar knows very well whether you are supervisor in the institute or not, right? Scholar also failed to inform such information. So we called the supervisor, as well as because supervisor not able to come to attend the inquiry through online. We called the supervisor, and we called the scholar also for the inquiry meeting, right? See, this is the responsibility of scholars. Remember, if your supervisor not in the working institute, gone for somewhere else, right, somewhere else in the abroad, or shifted to some deemed university, private university, right? If your supervisor failed to inform such migration, ultimately who will face the problem? Scholar only will face lot of problems, right? Unnecessarily, right? You should run between your department, supervisor department and center. So this is your responsibility. This is your responsibility also. Immediately inform. There is alternate provision. Right? So we will assign the supervisor based on supervisor, your original supervisor recommendation. We will assign one supervisor. Or if your supervisor failed to nominate any faculty to act as supervisor, right, then we will face a problem again, scholar. Then at that time, the scholar should write a letter. My supervisor denied to identify new supervisor for me. He is not in a session. He already migrated to somewhere else. Right? Kindly allot one supervisor for me. We will take care of all your burden. Right? You need not to worry about all. Based on your request letter, we will identify appropriate supervisor to complete your PhD program. Right? So for whatever the problem, right, when you face during your PhD program, remember here there is a separate committee. After charging as a Vice Chancellor by Professor Veldaj, Sir insisted to formulate a grievance redressal committee. There is a committee. Earlier it was not there. Now there is a grievance redressal committee. Whatever the difficulties, right, when you face during your whatever it is, right, you can submit your write a letter and submit to Director Center for Research. There is a high-level committee, right? So your representation will put in that high-level committee. The committee will take the appropriate action, right? Whatever it is, right? Because I cannot quote some of the examples here. There may be a problem with the supervisor and scholar, right? So even if it is so, right, we will provide appropriate solution, right? Because we don't want to suffer scholar, because this is the highest degree, as I said, right? During this period, right, you should complete your program without any order, right? Okay, so more than 1 year alternate supervisor. Okay, I will quickly, because I don't have time here, supervisor. Okay, see, suppose this 8.5 applicable to scholar supervisor working in private colleges, like where if supervisor migrated to non-recognized department, right, where we assign we'll assign new supervisor, then old supervisor will act as a joint supervisor, right? And suppose the scholar workplace becomes private university, scholar can continue PhD program. Suppose the scholar migrated to private university, right? Even at the time also, where the scholar can continue is her PhD program, right? So if the institution affiliate to Anna University becomes private university, then supervisor recognition will be cancelled automatically. Supervisor cannot act as a supervisor, because supervisor working place converted into a deemed university, right? So at that time, right? Under such supervisor, if scholar provisional registration already confirmed, scholar can continue PhD, right, with the help of one joint supervisor, right? Then who is going to act as joint supervisor? Your original supervisor should submit a proposal stating that so and so so and so faculty working in affiliated college or 4 campuses, right, may act as a joint supervisor. Like that, if your supervisor submits a letter, then such faculty will act as joint supervisor, right? Then the change of supervisor, okay, see, change of, okay, once suppose due to some reason there is a clash between supervisor and scholar, right? So the scholar wants to change the supervisor, right? So, okay, we have given the order to work under new supervisor. You should you should complete at least 1 year with a new supervisor. You got it? You should complete minimum 1 year with a new supervisor, and you should have publication with a new supervisor. Sir, already I published, I have made one publication with old supervisor. What can I do? Right? You can use that old publication. I mean publication with old supervisor. But you should have new publication with new supervisor. And also when you claim publication made with old supervisor, you should produce no objection certificate from old supervisor. You got it? Because there is a credit. There is a credit for old supervisor. Right? This is very important because one of the scholar, right, without obtained the consent of old supervisor, he actually submitted synopsis, and that scholar faced a lot of problems. Because the consent of publication made with old supervisor, that is very much essential. Even if it is not attached, that's our duty. So we check normally whenever there is a change of supervisor, whether the scholar made any publication with old supervisor or not, and we will cross verify, right? And also we insist the scholar to obtain consent from the old supervisor, right? Okay, this is the number of scholars, how many scholars a faculty can guide, right? A professor can guide at a time 11, associate 8, and the assistant professor 5 scholars, right? At a time can register, can take a student, right? Okay, the minimum duration. What is my minimum duration of PhD program? A scholar who come from engineering and technology background, right? Minimum duration. Engineering and technology means minimum duration 2 years for full-time scholar, 3 years for part-time scholar, whereas science and humanities 3 years and 4 years respectively. And a scholar who is doing PhD in management, MBA department, right? So based on whether the scholar who has a degree from S&H or a degree from engineering and technology, accordingly the number of years, minimum duration will get vary. You got it, right? Okay, so as a engineering and technology background, minimum 2 years. Minimum 2 years. That too you can submit your synopsis at the expiry of 1.9 years from the date of joining of your PhD program. You got it? So even this is less than your master program duration. Master program duration is 2 years. But for PhD, 1.9 years. At the expiry of 1.9 years, you can submit your synopsis provided if we have 2 publications. Remember, so I already stated the meaning of publication. Publication means, right, full-length research article, right, under regular issue category, the journal listed in CFR web page. If you have 2 paper, right, you can submit your synopsis at the expiry of 1.9 years for full-time scholars. For part-time scholars, 2.9 years. I am talking about science and technology. Engineering and technology. Engineering and technology, right? You got it? Okay, so again there is a time limitation. I cannot able to complete all the things, but a very important point actually, the plagiarism. You please refer our web page where we have issued recently many circulars to improve the quality of your PhD program, and I'll quickly show where all the information is available. When you look our website, Center for Research, right, the latest announcement, you see the latest announcement, right, where there is a scrolling news, right, what are all the circulars, information, so everything available under latest announcement. The old circulars, last year circular, that is available under the title of archives. When you click latest announcement, the screen will appear at the bottom where in the under archives, where you can see the old circular. Sir, I do not know about 2022 circular, you should not say. Sir, I have joined only 2023, but the circular was issued in 2022, December. How do I come to know? This is because I said now, right? It is available under archives, old circulars, right? The latest circulars available under latest announcement. This is the responsibility of the, not only the scholar, the supervisor, because many other supervisors, that's a very sad to note here, supervisors also not aware about the circulars, right? So remember all the modifications taken only to improve the quality of your PhD program, right? You got it, right? For that purpose only, where we have taken the decisions with the approval of research board and everything available in our web page. So it's a duty to refer our web page very frequently and find out what are all the latest modifications taken or issued by the Center for Research circular in the format of circular, right? You go through it. So with this, I'm sorry, not able to cover all the class. So with this information, I'll stop this lecture and also use online queries. You need not to knock the door of CFR. There is an online query facility available, right? Within a day, you will get reply, right? Even if you are not satisfied the reply from our side, you are welcome. You are welcome to Center for Research. We are here ready to help you, right? I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for that very quick reference guide to our PhD regulations. Now I request our director, madam, to please facilitate our deputy director, sir, for having done this regulations run through in a very quick manner. Thank you, sir, for taking time out and helping our scholars understand the PhD regulations. We are very glad to have a person like you who is very meticulous, extremely meticulous when it comes to the regulations, but also helping the scholars understand the process. Thank you, sir.